Have you ever thought about building a YouTube channel? You know, and it doesn't even matter what it's in. It could be in anything. But on this channel that you're watching right now, I'm going to show you how I built a YouTube channel about ham radio that at the time of this recording has over 54,000 subscribers on it and grows by 500 to 700 new subs per week. We're going to talk about it upcoming. Guys, my name is Jason. I've been on YouTube since about 2015, and like I mentioned a minute ago, I have built a channel about ham radio that is now over 54,000 subscribers. Now, I don't want you to click off too quickly because you might be thinking to yourself, well, I don't know what ham radio is. And you know what? That's kind of my point. If I can build a channel on YouTube for ham radio, which is a niche that you may not have ever heard of, or perhaps if you've heard of it, you're like, well, I think my grandpa used to do that. He had this big antenna in the background and he'd get up every morning and talk to Japan. Yes, that's it. And you might be thinking, wow, they still do that? The internet didn't kill that? No, the internet did not kill it. In fact, there's more people in it today than there ever has been in the history of the hobby. So what is my point? My point is that if I can build a YouTube channel with 54,000 subscribers that grows by 500 to 700 new subs per week, it's got views and watch time on it. I don't even know the numbers right now. I'll put some splash screens up over here with the numbers of views and watch time that I've had just for the last month. If I can build that on a niche that you might not have ever heard of, then why can't you build a channel for whatever you want? Doesn't even have to be fancy. It can be something about home gardening. It can be cooking. Wow, there's a lot of cooking channels on YouTube. You want to know why there's a lot of cooking channels on YouTube? Because everyone eats, and most people do it 2 to 3 times a day. I mean, seriously. It's kind of like, when you think about it from that point, you're like, well, that's true. Yeah, 3 meals a day, breakfast, lunch, dinner. Some people eat more than that. Some people will eat twice a day. If you're living in a country where you don't have as much access to food, you're probably not watching YouTube. So, on a country where, in an area where you actually have access to YouTube and following people on YouTube, you might be watching some cooking channels, and there's a lot of them out there, a lot of great ones. But why are you not doing YouTube? So let me say this. There is no one else who can do what you do. There's no one else who has your perspective. There's no one else who has your experiences, your life experiences, your background, your circumstances. There's no one else who can do stuff exactly like you do. Here's a true story. I was in Las Vegas in 2019. I was in Las Vegas for a YouTube conference. I went there for a 3-day conference about YouTube, about how to build a YouTube channel. And I stayed at, they were having the YouTube conference at a hotel that I think was called the Sahara. I think it's changed names by now, but it used to be called the Sahara. Well, I stayed at the Hard Rock because I've got a friend at the Hard Rock who works in the IT department, and he gave me his friends and family discount so I could get a little bit better rate on a room. So I would take an Uber from Hard Rock to the Sahara every morning that I was there, like I said, 3 days, go to the conference all day long and take an Uber back. So the very first day I went over there, and I get in the Uber, and the Uber driver, he's one of these talkative fellows, and he says, "Hey man, what are you in town for?" And I said, "Well, I'm at a YouTube conference." He's like, "I've thought about doing that," because he has been driving. He said he used to drive a cab, and now he drives Uber. He's been driving and living in Las Vegas for, I think he said, like 12 or 15 years. It was a long time. And he's like, "Yeah, but Las Vegas is a popular place, and there's probably already a lot of videos up about it, so I haven't really done it." And I'm like, dude, and here's what I told him. I was like, look, no one else has your experiences with Las Vegas, okay? No one else has driven exactly the same places you have. No one else has come along and done exactly what you have done. You have your own unique perspective about Las Vegas. And if you think it's worth sharing, then you should do so. You shouldn't let the fact that there's probably a lot of videos on YouTube about Las Vegas, which there probably is. I haven't even looked it up, quite frankly. But the fact that there might be a lot of videos up there, that means, you know what that means? That means people are looking for it. Because if it was a subject matter that people didn't care about, there wouldn't be a bunch of people searching YouTube for Las Vegas, best places to eat in Las Vegas, best casinos in Las Vegas, cheapest hotels, cheapest casinos, casinos off the beaten path. Who knows? This guy's been driving around Las Vegas for more than a decade, and he probably knows where the locals hang out. He knows where the lesser expensive hotels are, somewhere off the strip. And he could probably relay a lot of information that other people haven't even thought about, or maybe they did a video about 2 or 3 years ago and now it's stale. And I told him that. That's exactly what I told him. I was like, dude, nobody else has your perspective. You should do a channel. I don't know if he ever did one or not. I gave him my email address. He never contacted me. But the point remains, okay? If you want to do YouTube, you should do YouTube because no one else is you. You are the best you on the planet. I am the best me on the planet. And all these other guys out there with YouTube channels, they do the best version of themselves on YouTube. We're trying to grow. We need more content creators in amateur radio. You don't have to do YouTube. You could write a blog. You could have an Instagram page. You could have a Facebook group or a Facebook page talking about something inside of amateur radio. And a lot of the videos I'm going to be posting on this channel are going to be talking about specifically amateur radio, but they're going to be geared towards the person who wants to build a YouTube channel. I'm going to tell you how to build a YouTube channel, what I did to build my YouTube channel, how I continue working on it, and I'm going to give you the example of ham radio because that's what I've done. I can show you examples of what I've done. I can't show you examples of a cooking channel. I don't have one. I can't show you examples of a gaming channel. I don't have one. I do have some smaller channels. I've got a dog rescue channel. I've got a gun channel where I go out and shoot handguns. And I've got another channel about restoring a 1978 Ford pickup truck that I'm probably going to start on next spring. But it is important to realize that I think it's important to realize you can find a lot of channels on YouTube that show you how to build a YouTube channel. Here's how we built our YouTube channel that teaches you how to build a YouTube channel. It's kind of like Inception, the dream within the dream, right? So, which is cool. Nothing wrong with that. That's great. But now I'm going to take a ham radio channel and I'm going to show you how I built my ham radio channel, because ham radio is a niche that I want to get other people into, number one. And if you are a ham radio operator and you want to build a YouTube channel, you need to contact me. I'm good on QRZ, and if you're not a ham radio operator, you probably don't know what that means. So I'm going to teach you how to build a ham radio channel, but more than that, I'm going to teach you how to build a YouTube channel. We're going to go through a bunch of different stuff. We're going to do some video editing. We're going to do some talking about YouTube features. We're going to do talking about how to get topics and how to search YouTube. We're going to talk about all that stuff on this channel. I hope you'll join me. Put your comments below. Question of the day: what do you want to see? What questions do you have about YouTube? What questions do you want to see discussed in a later video on this channel? Put your comments below, and I hope you'll join me for the ride.